Market 2014. This is live from OR. We're here with Chris Davenport. Chris, you are a legendary skier, two-time world champion.
Yes.
You are an author of books. You are a skier of peaks. You are an individual who likes to get gnarly. At what age were you beginning when you started to go, I'm going to be this little guy who's going to shred?
Well,
when was that idea born in you?
It wasn't born because I grew up in New Hampshire. So there wasn't really an opportunity to get too gnarly. You know, the mountains are kind of small, tends to be icy. So I ski raced. And I tried to be a good ski racer, but it didn't go very far. But when I moved to Colorado, because I loved rock climbing too, I grew up in North Conway.
Yeah.
And I came out to Boulder, and I started climbing in El Dorado Canyon, and I started ski touring up Colorado 14,000 foot peaks. That's when I started realizing there was some potential, and this was in the early 90s. And it was coincidentally when free skiing competitions were starting. We used to call them extreme skiing competitions.
Right.
But they weren't very extreme. You just needed to shred really hard. And that's when I took all the hard work, all of the skills I had put into ski racing, and translated that into the free skiing world and started having a ton of success and winning events.
And then what was it about? So ski racing maybe a little more closed. You have these rules.
Yeah.
You have things you have to follow.
It's a race against the clock. But all of a sudden, when the mountain opened up and we could ski on a venue that had cliffs and trees and steeps and epic snow, all of a sudden Chris Davenport's skiing potential came out, and that's when I really started having success. And it's just been an amazing journey since then. That's been 20 years.
And then how's your relationship with risk changed? Because you're also a father, you have children, you're becoming an older athlete as well. Has that changed at all?
It's absolutely changed. I mean, I still get out there and do the same things, but I see myself not as a professional skier or mountaineer, but as a professional risk manager. We're making decisions every day that can either kill us or save our lives. And so I've gotten, as I said, I still do the same things, but I've gotten very good at assessing risk, asking myself at the top of every line, what's the worst that can happen here, and am I comfortable with that? And I think that that's something that everybody needs to be honest with themselves. This is humility. This is being humble. When you go out in the mountains, you're backcountry skiing, or you're filming or you're competing, whatever it may be, do you ask yourself, if I screw up here, what's the worst that can happen? And if you answer it, and you're comfortable with it, then you should go. But if you answer it and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to die, then maybe you should go home.
Maybe you should take your stuff and head home. So as far as having that whole concept of voluntary challenge and voluntary risk, you recently took the voluntary risk of buying into a ski company.
Well, that's a passion project. You know, I grew up as a skier, and I remember at a very young age thinking to myself, I was probably 13 or 14 years old. I just want to work in the ski industry and be able to ski every day. And gosh, if I could own a part of a ski resort or own part of a ski company, wouldn't that be just, the cat's meow, if you will? And so really, this is fulfilling a childhood dream, owning part of Kessler Skis. We're an Austrian ski brand. I'm the one foreign owner, and we're growing like crazy every year. And it's just been a really cool journey. And I'm learning new skills in the business side of things that I might not have had an opportunity to learn if I, hadn't jumped into something like this. And the risk is there, but you know what? I'm a risk manager, so I looked at it and I said, what's the worst that can happen? I'm comfortable with it.
You want to go for it, exactly. Yeah. So as far as working and serving, I understand that you work on the board of directors for Protect Our Winners.
Oh, absolutely. I think, for anyone who's maybe high profile or is a professional within the industry, it's really important that we have stewardship. It's really important that you stand up for what you believe in. And in this day and age, our winters seem to be shorter. They're much less predictable. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether you're in Europe or in South America or here in the United States or in Canada. Things are all topsy-turvy right now. And, whether you want to debate, human impacts or not, things are changing, and we're just trying to figure out what can we do to ensure that my kids and your kids and the rest of the people out there in the world have snowy winters in the future and can recreate in our industry, and all the jobs in our industry can benefit from it.
Well, thank you for spending your time and getting into that. And
I
understand
awesome.
You have Clif Bar logo on your hat right there. That's also a very conservation-minded company out there that's doing good things to protect our winners. And I believe we have Bryan Cole with us. Bryan Cole, get up here and have a seat, please.
Hi, Bryan.
Welcome, Bryan Cole. Yes, Bryan Cole in the house. And then, Bryan, understand you are the manager of free sport culture at Clif Bar.
Correct.
So tell me about free sport culture. What does that mean?
Professional athletes are progressing the sport by ultimately fulfilling their dreams by being free riders, right? Whether it's free ski, free surf, free ride mountain bike, where the ultimate aspiration is beyond competition and the level of sport is being progressed by just getting out there, being yourself, and doing what you love to do at the highest level.
I love that. So you get to work for Clif Bar, which everybody wants to work for.
Yeah.
And then you get to work with all of these great individuals who are really out there emblematic of pushing it to the max and having as much fun out there as possible. How often do you get to go out there and hang with these guys? Like Chris?
Not enough. We did yesterday, though. Yeah, so yesterday Chris and I sat on a chairlift and had a couple runs for the first time ever after working together for 4 years now. So if I work with a handful of athletes and I can get out with each one of them once every couple of years, I'm psyched.
So Brian, as an individual who's working for Clif and who's getting to work with all these great athletes, why is it important for you to be in this room at Outdoor Retailer?
Oh, for so many reasons. One, to connect with athletes, but another big part of my job is working with our environmental nonprofit partners. So the likes of the Winter Wildlands Alliance, or Protect Our Winters, or the Access Fund, all those groups as well. And really just getting a chance to engage within the community, right?
Well, wonderful. Thank you very much, Bryan Cole. Good to see you. Chris Davenport,
awesome
pleasure.
as always, yeah.
Looking forward to hanging out with you guys and partying later. This
so.
is Timmy O'Neill signing off live from our Winter Market 2014.